If you have an email list and you're sending the same monthly newsletter to everyone on it, you're not running an email system, you're sending updates that almost nobody acts on. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you how a real email nurturing system works, 5 components that turn subscribers into clients, and the mistakes that stop it from generating revenue. I'm Rod Agatep. I help professional service firms build marketing ecosystems that turn your email list into revenue. Here is where most email strategies break down. Most businesses treat email like a broadcast channel. Same message, same timing, same content to everyone. That approach has 3 problems. First, generic content gets generic engagement. When everybody receives the same message, it's rarely relevant. The warm prospect ready to buy gets the same email as a cold lead from 6 months ago. And that's where most of the opportunity gets lost. Second, a monthly cadence is possibly the worst frequency. It's too infrequent to build a relationship. It's too infrequent to be special. Most people forget you exist between sends. Third, no follow-up means no conversation. A single email asks the recipient to act now in this moment. If the timing isn't right, the chance is lost until the next month's broadcast. Here's the cost most business owners never calculate. The average business that treats email marketing as a serious channel generates 30 to 40% of its total revenue from it. The average business that treats email as a monthly newsletter generates under 5%. Same list, different system, up to 8 times the revenue. I've been building systems like this for over 2 decades, and email has changed a lot. But before I go deeper, make sure you subscribe. I break down how to turn systems like this into consistent revenue. What used to be a broadcast tool is now one of the highest revenue channels in most businesses. When email is done right, it doesn't feel like marketing. It feels like a relationship that's developed over weeks or even months. During this time, you're building trust through value until the prospect arrives at the buying decision on their own. Here's how it actually works: the 5 components of a real email system, the 3 patterns that drive revenue, and the mistakes that stop it from working. Picture how this changes your business. Someone downloads a resource from your website. Within 60 seconds, they receive an email that delivers the resources and welcomes them into a sequence specific to the topic they showed interest in. Over the next 2 weeks, subscribers receive a series of emails that build on that interest. Email 2 shares a short case study. Email 3 reframes the value. Email 4 gives a useful resource. Email 5 explains your methodology. But email 6, asking for a conversation, feels natural. Meanwhile, the system is watching. Which emails did they open? Which links did they click? Which topics generated engagement? That data automatically moves the person to the next appropriate sequence. All of this is done without anyone on your team having to manually manage it. And here's the part that surprises every business owner I show this to. Prospects in this system arrive at the sales conversation already pre-sold. They've consumed your expertise, they've seen your case studies, they get your approach. The sales conversation is no longer a pitch, it becomes a logistics to get started. A system like this has 5 components, and each one has to work for the system to perform. Component 1, topic-specific welcome sequences. When someone joins, the first email should not be a generic welcome. It should keep the conversation going. It should contain the resources they downloaded or the topic that grabbed their interest. Each opt-in source should have its own sequence. The lead magnet for email marketing triggers a different sequence than the one for paid advertising. Specificity creates engagement. Component 2, behavior-based segmentation. Generic broadcasts treat everybody identically. Behavioral segmentation treats each subscriber based on what they actually do. What do they open? What do they click? What topics do they engage with? A subscriber who opens every email and clicks multiple links gets escalated to a higher engagement track. A subscriber who hasn't opened anything in 60 days enters a re-engagement sequence or gets removed from the active list. The system adjusts in real time based on actual behavior. And here's the data point most businesses don't believe until they see it. Segmentation emails generate up to 760% more revenue than non-segmented campaigns. Not 76, 760. Same content, right audience, right timing. This gives you 8 times the effectiveness of a broadcast email. The sequences that produce revenue do the opposite. They They lead with value using frameworks, insights, and case studies. By the time you ask for a meeting, it feels natural. Gaps break the momentum of the sequence. The right cadence depends on the type of sequence. Welcome sequences run dense. Emails should be sent 2 to 3 days for the first 2 weeks while interest is the highest. Long-term nurture runs lighter. These are sent once a week or once every 2 weeks. Re-engagement campaigns are focus campaigns. Here, 3 to 5 emails should be sent over a 2-week period to either reactivate the lead or remove them from the list. 5 sales handoff triggers. The system needs to recognize when a subscriber is ready for human conversation and automatically route them to your sales team. Triggers include opening every email in a sequence, clicking high-intent links like pricing pages, downloading many resources quickly, or replying to a nurture email. When triggered, the contact moves to your sales team with full context. The setup process for email nurturing takes 3 to 4 weeks. Week 1 is mapping your existing opt-in sources and designing matching sequences for each. Week 2 is writing the email content for the highest priority sequence. This is usually tied to your most popular lead magnet. Week 3 is building the sequence in your email platform, setting up behavioral triggers, and testing the flow. Week 4 is launching and watching the data. Performance grows from there. Month 1 gives you baseline data. By month 2, you start seeing patterns. What works? What gets engagement? What converts? Month 3 brings optimization. And by month 6, your system produces predictable monthly revenue you would have missed with generic broadcasts. Not because you got more subscribers, but because they finally activated the ones you already have. That's where the real leverage is. There are 3 mistakes that stop email from becoming a revenue channel. First, pitching too early. By email 3, you're already asking for a meeting. Email 4, you're pushing a service. Subscribers feel sold to before any trust has been built, and the entire sequence loses its credibility. The fix? Lead with value for the first 60 to 70% of any sequence. Earn the right to ask through the quality of what you've already given. Second, generic everything. 1 sequence, 1 welcome email, 1 cadence for everyone, regardless of what brought them in or what they're interested in. The result is content that's relevant to almost nobody. The fix? Build a separate sequence for each major opt-in source and topic of interest. Specificity is what drives engagement. Third, set it and forget it. Build the sequence once, launch them, never look at the data, never refine. Open rates will drift, click rates will decline, your sequences age. You need ongoing review and optimization. Without it, the system that performed well at launch becomes the system that drags down your overall engagement. The fix? Review performance monthly, update content quarterly, audit the full system annually. Email is a living asset, not a build once project. If your email list isn't generating at least 10% of your revenue, this is the gap that you need to fix. And with the system outlined above, you can start turning your subscribers into clients. If you want to see exactly how this would work for your business, the resource in the description has the next step. If you want to see how this connects to the rest of your client acquisition system, watch this next video here. If this helped, make sure you subscribe. I break down every part of building a system that consistently brings in new clients.